Hey guys, what is up? It is SSD Middleman here with GuidesForUsAll, and today we're going to be checking out all of the axes in Dark Souls 2 / Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. They are all in the same locations in Scholar of the First Sin, if I am not mistaken. If I am, let me know, and I will add an annotation to fix it. Anyways, let's get started. The Dragon Slayer Crescent Axe can be found in the Shaded Woods, just past the Ruined Fork Road bonfire. Go down the path till you find the Flexile Sentry boss. Once you kill him, behind him on a corpse will be this and a shield. Now this axe isn't amazing, it's not one of my favorites, but it's decent, especially if you dual wield it, and you do the left attack, then the right attack, then the left attack. It stun locks enemies very well. But yeah, at a +5 rank this will do 200 damage, and yes, you do have to upgrade it with Twinkling Titanite, which is one of the reasons I really don't like it that much. Even though it is an elemental weapon though, you can buff it with Pine Resin, which is an interesting point of this weapon, so I always recommend throwing on like gold pine resin to get some more lightning damage on this guy. And it's got a faster swing speed, and it's kind of unique compared to the other weapons, but like I said, it's not one of my favorites, and you might be surprised to see what my favorite is. It's a little sad. Anyways, let's move on to the Bound Hand Axe. You can get this from Chancellor Welliger after defeating the Looking Glass Knight boss. It's pretty cheap, and it is a very interesting axe. As you can see all over it, there's like barbed wire and just nasty looking spikes all over it, which actually causes bleed buildup on your opponents. At rank 10 you'll be doing 180 base damage with an A scaling in strength and a 100 bleed damage every hit. So as you can imagine, if you power stance this weapon and you just smash your opponents with them, you'll be causing a lot of bleed damage, especially if you bleed infuse the weapon as well. Very interesting axe. I do recommend giving this one a shot. If you can land that power stance hit with both axes infused with bleed, it can be very, very deadly. Anyways, moving on to the Hand Axe. You can get this weapon by starting off as a bandit, buying it from the Merchant Hag for 700 souls, or on the second floor of the Cardinal Tower bonfire building. So this axe is pretty easy to find, obviously. Once you upgrade it to 10, it will be doing 240 damage with a B scaling in strength. And a lot of people might say this is like a really basic weapon, but I love this weapon. This is probably my favorite axe, which might be weird, but I just love how you can get it so early on. And though it might, like at first, kind of seem like it's not that great, this weapon is pretty decent, even scaling into late game, because of the fact that, like I said, 240 base damage, then you upgrade it, level up your strength, and this thing can actually do pretty well. I play through the whole game with this weapon sometimes, and it lasts me all the way till Nashandra. Anyways, moving on to the Battle Axe. You can get this from Blacksmith Lenegrast for 1500 souls in Majula, and they're also dropped by Goblin and Ashen Warrior enemies. Just buy it from the Blacksmith. Going for random drops is kind of ridiculous in this game. Nevertheless, once you upgrade it to +10, you'll be doing 250 base damage with a B scaling in strength and a D scaling in dexterity. This weapon's pretty good. It swings a little weird, but I do like this weapon. It's pretty fun to use and has such a slick look. Just looking at the weapon, I really like the look of the regular Battle Axe. Now moving on to the Bandit Axe, another sleek looking weapon. You can get this from a treasure chest in the No Man's War from the same building that holds the shortcut gate that you use to get up to the bell. You'll see it here. You can also get it from the Duke House Spiders in Brightstone Cove Seldora, although I recommend just getting it from the treasure chest. As I mentioned before, random drops in this game, very iffy. If you upgrade this guy to +10, you'll be doing 290 base damage with a B scaling in strength. It's a pretty decent weapon, kind of generic as well in the axe class. Not too bad, but not too amazing. It doesn't really stand out from the other ones very much. Moving on to the Infantry Axe. I hate this axe with a burning passion because it is dropped by the axe-wielding hollow infantry you can find in the Forest of the Fallen Giants. It took me way too long to get this. I had to bonfire ascetic the first bonfire in Forest of the Fallen Giants about 4 times before I could finally get somebody to drop this. Jester's Hat, Gold Serpent Ring +2, and it still took me forever to get this. Like I said, the random drops in this game are ridiculous. To add insult to injury, this thing only has 200 base damage at rank 10 with B scaling and strength and D scaling and dexterity. Not a terrible weapon, but not worth the pain and trouble you're going to go through to get this guy. It pretty much just looks like a really beat up two-sided hand axe, and I just don't recommend going for this. Just keep your sanity. Anyways, moving on to the Gir Mech Axe. You can get this in the Doors of Pharos. You can find it on a corpse on the left side of the staircase in that first area, and you can also get it from the Gir warriors that are in the Doors of Pharaoh's area. They drop it pretty commonly, I'd say. This weapon is very, very unique in the fact that it doesn't really work like an axe. It kind of does an over-the-shoulder, more like a greatsword kind of attack style, which is kind of difficult to land most of your hits with if you're not used to it. You have to aim your character in the direction. Lock-ons will not work very well with this weapon, so you're going to have to aim the weapon with precision. Although, at rank 10, this weapon will be doing 380 base damage with an A scaling in dexterity, or an A scaling in strength and an E scaling in dexterity. So with high strength levels, this thing can be doing massive damage, but it is very, very awkward to be using. Now, if you power stance it, you will have an awesome Great Axe moveset, and obviously a crap ton of damage that you can be dealing with this thing, especially if you infuse it with Raw. You'll be doing like 437 damage per hit, or just with your base damage, plus a high strength level. Dual wielding these guys, you could easily do probably over 800 or 900 damage per swing. An awesome axe, very awkward swings, but if you can get good with it, then congratulations, you'll probably Shrek people. Moving on to the last, but not least, the Butcher's Knife, which is counted as an axe. You get this guy from Weaponsmith Ornifex by trading in the Soul of the Rotten and 5,000 souls. So at regular plus 5 scaling, you will have 280 base damage and an A scaling in strength, but what makes this weapon very unique is the fact that when you hit an enemy with it, you will restore HP, which is interesting. It's an effect that I believe only this weapon has in the game. Although the HP restore effect is not massive, it could be useful if you're playing in PvE and running through an area and you maybe run out of life gems and Estus flasks. It's a very situational weapon, and the HP heal doesn't really help in PvP due to the fact that you'll probably be taking people out in 4 or 5 swings anyways, so you're really just not going to heal that much in a player versus player fight. The weapon's interesting. It has some unique R2 attacks for one-handed and two-handed. I don't know, I really want to like this weapon, but it does upgrade with Petrified Dragon Bone, and the damage is not incredibly amazing, and the heal effect is not super great. But it is an interesting weapon, very, very unique, and that is what I love about this game, is all of the unique weapons and how they have these different effects. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. What is your favorite axe in Dark Souls 2? And if so, why is it your favorite axe? Anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like rating down below and subscribe to see some more videos in the future, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.